and the new ESPN Wisconsin app. In case you missed it earlier today, the Milwaukee Brewers taking the rubber match against the Detroit Tigers, winning 5-1. The Brew Crew got up early, leading 4-0 after the third inning, and they held on to take the series. Christian Yelich, Rhys Hoskins, and Sal Frelick all hitting home runs today. Frelick, his first home run of the season. Jose Quintana also on the mound at American Family Field for the first time in a Brewers jersey, getting the win as well. The Brew Crew is back in action on Friday against the Oakland A's. Freddie Peralta on the mound for first pitch at 7 p.m. And you can listen to the game right here on Madison's new home for the Milwaukee Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. In the NBA playoffs are just around the corner, and the Bucks and the Indiana Pacers will be squaring up Saturday at noon. You can listen on 100.5 ESPN.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
We're learning a lot about each other. Jim's an onion. You got to peel back the layers to get to the good part.
Is there a position, is there a player that would have you, get you excited, get you pumped, get you to like stand up and go, yeah! I mean, there are, I think, some players that I do think will make Packer fans say, yeah! And others say, what? And some will say, okay, okay. So,
oh my God.
You can chime in on who's your okay, who's your what, and who's your yeah pick.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, alongside Molly Brown. Here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
No Matt Hamilton. He is still out. He is back tomorrow, allegedly. So it's just me and Molly Brown, Jim Rutledge, Molly Brown with you in the Everlight Solar Studio. Primetime Morishon behind the glass. Primetime, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you, Jim?
I am fantastic. It's gorgeous outside. The NFL draft is inching closer and closer. So plenty to be excited about here on a Wednesday. And the Brewers won as well, Molly. I know you're all dialed into that. You're
5-1, right?
Brewers fan here on ESPN Madison.
Yep, 5-1. Well, there you go.
There you
she
go.
knows the score.
And that brings their record to
10-9.
I think they're 500, right?
They're just above 500 now.
Oh, okay.
After today's result.
10-9.
So they got the 10-9, which puts them, I believe, in second place, depending on what the Cubs do today. They are trailing 2-1 against the San Diego Padres. So that game is happening now. Just a weird note with scheduling-wise. The Cubs have had a ton of West Coast games. They now do not, after last night, play a game with a first pitch like after 7:20 until August 22nd.
What?
Yeah, their
Wait,
schedule's
repeat
super
that?
weird. So they started the year like on the road at San Diego, like 2 different series, and then like on the road in LA. They do not have a game, the Cubs, with a first pitch after like 7:20 until August 22nd now.
That's crazy.
I think they had basically 2 separate West Coast road trips to start the year. They had one of the tougher schedules in baseball because now they come back to Wrigley and they play these same teams again. Like they're just knocking out the NL West.
I was going to say, I thought I saw, wasn't their game last night or maybe 2 nights ago? Ended at 12:30
right, and that was
time?
and that's the last night was the last of the late night games for them for a long time.
That is wild.
Right?
Yeah, the MLB just trying to help the Cubs. What else is new?
Well, I would imagine, I don't know if it works in their favor or not, but it is interesting how they try to piece together. I can't imagine what goes into making a schedule for Major League, especially Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
More than any other sport.
It's got to be a computer that just does it, right? There's no human brain doing anything with it.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe now, but not back in the day.
No, back in the day, yeah. Well, wasn't there an article recently, and maybe I dreamed this, but I don't know why I would dream this because I'm not a baseball fan, but wasn't there an article about some couple, Ryan, and don't make me finish the sentence because I'm going to get it wrong, but some couple that manually did something for every team's schedule? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I swear to God, this was a story.
Manually did something for every team.
I don't know what the thing was, but I vaguely remember seeing an article.
Incredibly inappropriate.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Is it something?
It was a couple that did
bottomless
everything by hand. I will dig during our show to see if I can find this article, but I swear to God, there was some story talking
Did
about
what by
this.
hand?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Something
Like-
about their schedule. Maybe it was created the schedules.
Wait,
You know-
their personal schedules?
no, created the team's schedules. Like, I swear to God.
What, like for fun?
No, for like the MLB.
Like this was their job.
I'm
This
pretty
couple.
sure.
They
This
were
couple, I
married?
swear to God, if I am butchering this, somebody please tell me. But I swear to God, there was some story literally right before the season started this year. I swear to God, I did not dream this. I don't dream about schedules and baseballs.
Well, I'm not Googling couple
Don't worry, I will.
hand stuff and Major League Baseball schedule. No. You can handle that, Molly Brown.
I'll find it. If
add it
anybody
to
knows what the heck I'm talking about, please chime in on
Add
the
to your
Carbos Talking text
sus
line.
Google search list here in the Everlight Solar Studio. You can get into the show, 844-770-3776. That's a Carbos Talking text line. This is more. It's mock draft season, and that means the Athletic today, Dane Brugler, who put out the Beast earlier this week, or maybe it was late last week, put out the Beast, and now today he put out his he put out a mock draft.
Okay.
And I want to run through it with you, Molly, and then we're going to get to our signing limited poll question. But I'm going to add a little context to some of the names as well with the mock draft from Dane Brugler from The Athletic. And I want, again, a thumbs up or thumbs down on the pick. I'll provide a little bit of his info from the Beast.
Okay.
So with the 23rd overall pick in the NFL draft, the Green Bay Packers, according to Dane Brugler from The Athletic, will take Will Johnson,
I'd like that.
cornerback from Michigan. This would be a slide, but it is not, I don't think, a insane slide. I also could see, and he does a mock draft of no trades.
Okay.
I could see if Will Johnson fell to like 18, the Packers being like, you know what, let's just go get him.
Where can I compare this to, like, let's say Mel Kiper, Field Yates? Like, where do they
Well,
have him?
I'll put it like this. I don't have all that in front of you. Sorry, Molly.
I
but
totally understand because
Will
there's
Johnson
50,000.
Will Johnson is cornerback number 2 in this draft, second to Travis Hunter, and number 18 in the top 100.
Okay.
So that would be the best way to describe who he is as a player. That would be a slide of pretty epic proportions that would work in the Packers' favor. There is maybe some health issues with him, and not all the testing was able to be done for him during the offseason here, so that could be part of what is holding up his overall, like, not having a higher grade.
Okay.
So as we continue here, he has the Packers in the second round taking Darius Alexander, a defensive tackle out of Toledo, 6'4", 305 pounds, age 25, basically. And that's a little bit older for a prospect. But again, second round.
I'm 40.
He has him as the 7th-ranked defensive tackle, 61st out of the top 100. He has the Packers taking him at number 54. 2-year starter, 3 technique, and has a hybrid front at Toledo. Here's what he says. Alexander is rangy defending the run with body fluidity and length to displace blocks. He has shown improved ability to feel the rhythm of blocks to work off contact, but needs to streamline his pass rush with more consistent leverage and sequencing. So, whatever that means to you. He has him as a grade of a second and third round pick.
I'm sorry. I just love it. You read the whole thing, the whole bio.
Yeah.
Whatever that means to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pretend to be a scout and know what all that is all standing for and everything there. So,
You can tell Rutledge that.
yes.
All right. What's next?
Then they have a wide receiver from Stanford.
Alec Iomenor.
Alec Iomenor, 6'2", 206, is a 2-year starter at Stanford, the ex-wide receiver to the boundary, and that's a tempo-based RPO scheme. He is a guy that, despite his lack of technical polish, he can be a challenge to cover because of his size, toughness, and athletic traits. So he's a little bit more of a traitsy player. 3rd-round grade. He has the Packers taking him in the 3rd round.
I believe I heard from the Athletic, their athletic football show with Robert Mays. I believe they talked about Alec Iomenor, and they said he would be the most stereotypical Packers wide receiver draft pick because he's super tall, statuesque, fits all the physical measurements. just can't catch the ball. That's the only issue with him. If he could just catch the ball, he'd be like a first-round pick. And also, you might remember him. He's the guy from Stanford who dropped 300 yards on Colorado when Shadur Sanders was covering him.
Oh, okay.
In a game, I believe that was last season. So he's had big performances, but incredibly inconsistent is his problem.
All right, the next one they have here in round 4, Barron Sorrell, a edge, not ranked in the top 100, 18th ranked edge, 6'3", 256, a 3-year starter at Texas. He basically was an edge defender in the defensive front they had there. Player 40 starts, so dependable player, gradual improvement year over year. His makeup and motor will give him a chance to carve out a role in a 4-3 defense there. He led Texas with 49 pressures in 2024, despite finishing 4th on the team in sacks. So
Pressure.
that's who he has the Packers taking at 124. 159 would be a familiar name. Joe Huber, guard center from Wisconsin, is the next name there. And Joe Huber, I believe, was a transfer from Cincinnati and is I think, a good player and someone that I would take on my favorite team, and I think a lot of teams would do well, especially in this range for Joe Huber. The next one on the list is Thomas Fedone, I believe is how you say it, the second, and he is a tight end from Nebraska. So I think the big thing we focus on a lot of this stuff is the position. And the Packers have one unquestionably good tight end in Tucker Kraft. Mm-hmm. Musgrave's health is up in the air. And then after that, look, you could add another tight end. 6'5", 243. He is the 13th ranked tight end, not a top 100 player. 2-year starter at Nebraska.
All right.
And then the last, I'm going to skip down to the quarterback. He drafted a quarterback with the last pick for the Green Bay Packers in the 2025 NFL draft, which I think is an intriguing player because, and Ryan, I know you're Mr. College Football, so chime in on this, but Curtis Rourke from Indiana, he played the majority of the season. How much of the season did he play with a torn ACL?
Torn ACL?
He played the year with a major knee injury.
I don't remember him having an ACL injury. I remember he hurt his thumb.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day.
Yeah, in the game they won against Washington, which was around week 8-ish. He tore his ACL maybe towards the end of the year, I want to say.
Because he just was coming.
Hold on. This is according to Google AI, so take with it what you will.
Yeah.
Indiana University quarterback Curtis Rourke played the entire 2024 college football season with a torn ACL, which he retore in 2022.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not remember
He had surgery
seeing
in
this.
January to repair the torn ACL.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's incredible that he's able to play through that. I guess it wasn't that bad of a tear, though.
It's an RPO spread scheme, too, which is interesting.
Oh, what's interesting about that?
Well, just in theory, you have to move the ball. You have to move a little bit. I have the threat of mobility.
That is part of his game, I believe.
So he passed with the torn ACL, let us not forget. 3,042 yards and 29 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
31 total touchdowns, so it means he ran for 2.
Hey, they ain't playing nobody, Paul. He ain't playing nobody at Indiana. Come on. That ain't an SEC schedule.
So, Ryan, I'm just curious because, like Jim just said, you are Mr. College Football, especially out of our entire panel. Do you know most of these names heading into the draft before you do all the studying? Like, do you look at mock drafts and you're like, yep, I remember that guy from Texas. Yep, I remember that guy from Indiana. Yep, I remember him from Toledo. Or do you have to actually do research? Because honestly, and this might be part of the reason why we call you a serial killer, because I think that you might actually know all of these people and various things about them just because.
Just because?
Yes, because you kind of seem like the person that just has a just because encyclopedia of knowledge in your head. Do you know what I mean?
I'm struggling to understand what you mean.
You know what I mean, Jim.
Jim knows what you
He
mean.
seems like that kind of guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, glasses. He wears glasses. He must know everything.
Psycho.
No, I do know some of those names because of college football. Like, I know Alec Iomanor's name because he had that massive game against Travis Hunter where he had 300 yards and they came back and beat Colorado in overtime. So, that sticks in my mind because that was a massive performance. I know Joe Huber because he went to Wisconsin. I know Curtis Rourke because he led Indiana to the college football playoff. And then, I believe, who did he have them taking in the first round in Brugler? He had them taking Will Johnson.
Will Johnson.
I knew him because he was a big prospect coming into the season.
Mm-hmm.
The Toledo guy, I was not familiar with him. I think I had heard Barron Sorrell's name once or twice before. But once again, it's because they play for notable teams. If a guy doesn't play for a Power 4 or Power 5 program or a team that plays in the college football playoff. No, they're not on my radar.
You just seem like somebody that if you heard a name, you'd be like, yeah, they played at Kent State. They played this position, and they were there for this many years.
Oh, you mentioned Kent State. Sorry.
The thing with Rourke that
Exactly.
I find interesting here is one, obviously the toughness here, but here was the final bit. Overall, Rourke is a good sized pocket passer who will push the ball downfield when everything stays on schedule, but has average mobility, will be tough to mask in the NFL, potential to be an Aiden O'Connell level backup if he stays healthy. Aiden O'Connell, I think, would be a improvement in the long run over Malik Willis as a backup QB.
Well, is he the starter in Vegas still?
They traded for Geno Smith.
Yeah, I forgot about Geno Smith.
So, like, O'Connell's going to track as a backup. But, like, if you could get an O'Connell type, and, again, I don't know if Malik Willis is long for the Green Bay Packers. And, I love the idea that he had those 2 nice wins, but we need to look at him with eyes wide open, that they were against 2 terrible teams, and it was run-heavy wins. All credit in the world to Malik Willis. Mm-hmm. But, like, to think that as a short-term backup, and if you just kind of go with the idea that most teams are screwed if your starter goes down for more than 5 games, then maybe you just go with Malik Willis. But a short-term backup, couple games or 1 or 2 games and not have to play for a while and come back in, I think fine. As a, let's say Jordan Love is a franchise level or close to a quarterback, well then you'd not feel great about it, because that way you'd want to have a guy, and maybe this would be Rourke or someone else that could come in and move the ball, hand the ball off to Jacobs, but then also be a guy that can move the ball through the air. Both Z and the D chimed in 844-770-3776 on the Carbos Talking text line. List is more on the Molly's note about a couple that made the MLB schedule.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. So Molly is correct. There used to be a couple that used to do the schedule for the whole MLB. They discontinued letting them do it about 3 years ago, roughly. And I have them as so it's. Remember the Badger Outsider, and I actually have him in there as ODB Outsider, but he's in my phone. The private text and text line also texted it.
ODB?
Yeah. But the Outsider, and then I think it's an Oregon title as well. But, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he chimed in and backed up Molly, too. I will say, as soon as we got done with that conversation, you went into Dane Brugler's mock draft. The Adam and Madison called me as well to corroborate what Molly was saying.
Thank you.
So,
I am
Molly,
that
right.
story resonated.
Not crazy.
Thank you. Henry and Holly Stevenson.
And I was going to say, I made the bold move of actually copying and pasting the link that Z and the D sent on
that
that
was
Carbos Talking
risky.
text.
I would not have done that.
I did pull it up on the studio computer here. Jesse Nelson would not be happy with that. But
everybody send us your links.
Yeah, it was up until 2005. This couple, apparently by pencil and paper, created the MLB schedule for all 30 teams. ESPN released a 30 for 30 short about them. Looks like back in 2014. But yeah, for over 20 years, they compiled the MLB schedule on their kitchen table.
How
It's
much
crazy,
did they get
isn't
paid for this?
Probably not enough.
They probably did it for fun. Like, they just love Sudoku, and they were like, you know what, let's just, like, make schedules for a living. Like,
It's insane.
and the
Like,
fact
do you
that
think they make a living off of it? Do you think this is a side hustle for them?
I hope it wasn't just a side hustle.
Should we try to get them on the show? Jim's like, no.
Like, we can do some deeper research into like where they're at nowadays. I mean, they were old, 11 years ago.
So you think they're dead?
I mean, you don't know.
Possibly.
I mean,
maybe they're living on their retirement funds.
I hope
from
they should
making
be.
meat.
But I hope the MLB gave them an actual like living wage at the very least. I mean, the MLB is not well known for doing that for anyone outside of the top players.
But like if you paid this couple like $100,000, seems like a bargain.
Yeah.
And like 11 years ago, especially, $100,000 is a living, even for a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like $100,000 would be a fair number to pay them.
It's just crazy to me that even 11 years ago, the MLB was allowing human beings, just a couple in, I don't know, I'm just going to say they're from Idaho.
I don't know where they're from.
Well, being as I'm not from Idaho.
Oh, okay.
But they
Idaho.
they look Idaho to me.
Don't.
It's just crazy. It's crazy to me the MLB would just like not modernize, even for 2014 standards. Like that would not be like having a computer to get the schedule. Like
I believe it was until 2004. I don't know what year you said.
is that what it's up
yeah.
until 2005? Okay,
Yeah.
well.
From 1981 to 2004.
Computers existed and
Yes,
Excel
exactly.
existed in that time.
Yeah, it should have been.
Microsoft was a thing.
Yeah.
Like, let us not forget.
Also a thing, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and we have a fun contest around that.
Ooh, we do have a fun contest around that. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Download the app today for your chance at an all-inclusive private tailgating experience during day 3 of the NFL draft in Green Bay. Open up the ESPN Wisconsin app, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and check out the contest tab and register for your chance to win. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Jim Rutledge here, and I want to tell you about the Brewers Company, Dane County's premier retailer of outdoor furniture. They'll help you elevate your outdoor living space like they have for me. Exceptional craftsmanship, all the latest styles, colors, and durable materials that hold up to whatever Wisconsin weather brings. From deep seating to dining, pick your set and the Brewers Company will customize it to fit your style. Visit their furniture showroom in Middleton and let their trained staff help you bring your outdoor dreams to life. The Brewers Company, your outdoor living experts.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Ben Bruss here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owns. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 100.5 ESPN.
Lillard's going to tee up a 3, and he splashes it through for the left wing.
Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, the official beer of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Back-to-back wins against the Pistons over the weekend for the Bucks, and they end their regular season on an 8-game winning streak, undefeated in the regular season in the month of April. Here's head coach Doc Rivers on improvements.
Yeah, just offensive execution. There's times we have these dead periods in the game that you can't afford to have in the playoffs. Transition defense is probably the number one key. Corner threes, I guess, and then rebounding. That would be it.
Bucks and Pacers will get their first round series going in Indianapolis. That one tips off at noon on Saturday.
This has been your Milwaukee Basketball Report on Madison's home for Bucks basketball, 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's. Whether tailgating or hosting at home, don't serve boring, bland food. As the official grill of the Green Bay Packers, Pit Boss brings the heat with a wide range of wood pellet grills, smokers, and hardwood pellet fuel. Reach another level of flavor that can't be achieved with a charcoal or gas grill, and it's beyond easy. Seriously, Pit Boss grills get cooking with just a few simple steps. Grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, char grill, barbecue, and direct flame sear. The all-in-one Pit Boss does it all. Learn more today at pitbossgrills.com.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Never felt so all alone. I think about my granddad's eyes and they always send me home. almost here and now. I gotta make them proud. I keep my eyes wide open. Let's this crown unbroken.
So this is Sabrina Carpenter, Eyes Wide Open. Shout out to Primetime Warrior Shine for pulling this. Jim Rutledge, Molly Brown with you in the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. Matt Hamilton back on Thursday. Ryan, how did you know this song?
It's Sabrina Carpenter.
Well, not actually. I don't really listen to Sabrina Carpenter's music. What it is, I realized I definitely got the phrase Eyes Wide Open confused with Arms Wide Open, the Creed song at first, and I typed that into YouTube.
Gotcha.
Initially, Eyes Wide Open, both came up, and I was like, oh, there's also a song named Eyes Wide Open by Sabrina Carpenter. She's popular. Let's listen to it.
Can you guys both just give me a good Creed Arms Wide Open impersonation?
Jim,
With
you
arms
first.
wide open.
Ryan?
That's all I got.
What, do you want to do your Irish accent instead? Does that
No.
make you feel more secure?
I don't want to do any accents. None of them are going to be good.
Okay, fine, I'll do it. Because you asked.
Oh, thank you.
With arms wide open.
That was pretty good, too.
There you go.
No,
yeah.
it wasn't.
You got the
Also,
modulation
I
right.
stared into the camera, so I hope that I didn't make any of our viewers on YouTube feel uncomfortable.
You can watch us on the ESPN
I'm
Madison
blushing.
YouTube stream and get Molly looking deep into your eyes saying, with arms wide open. If you are so inclined. Okay. We are talking the NFL draft. Last segment went over Dane Brugler's NFL mock draft for the Green Bay Packers. And you can chime in 844-770-3776 in the Cardinals Talking text line. This is more. I want to get to Benjamin Solak wrote a piece for ESPN basically mapping out a perfect draft for the Green Bay Packers. And we want to kind of create our own little, are we doing grocery list or to-do list for the Green Bay Packers? How do we want to do this?
I mean,
I'd call it more the wish list, right?
Wish list? Well, that's just,
yeah, but if you relate it to something like in your everyday life, I would say probably a to-do list because you got to tackle the things that are most important.
because this is
Yeah,
more like you feel like the
that makes
Packers need to
sense.
do this. So we'll go this with our Packers to-do list in a minute with our side and limited poll question. But I'll throw this out to you guys. So Will Johnson, cornerback, Michigan. Darius Alexander, D-tackle, Toledo. Alik Alamaner, wide receiver, Stanford.
Alec Iomenor.
There you go. Baron Sorrell, edge. I had two things going against me. This is my own handwriting, and it was a tricky name. From Texas, Joe Huber, guard center from Wisconsin. Thomas Fedone, tight end from Nebraska. Jamon Dumas Johnson from Kentucky. And then Curtis Rourke, QB from Indiana. What would you give that for a grade?
So cornerback, I'm just trying to compare it in my mind to what I would personally want. Maybe a B. Because he covered the positions that I feel like are most important. So I guess. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I would agree. I mean, I think getting Will Johnson, if he was
That's
there
huge
still in
to
the
me.
first, that's the big one. That's
Yeah.
what makes me like the draft no matter what.
Yeah.
And then third round, getting a wide receiver who is a bit of a projection, but if he hits, could be really, really good. And then also the second round pick was who again?
Darius Alexander, defensive tackle. From
Defensive
Toledo.
tackle Toledo, yes, because that's the ones that's not part of my college football repertoire, so that he doesn't fall under my knowledge of purview of knowledge. Thank you. Yeah, that's what makes it tough. Where it's just like, yeah, I mean, I think interior D line makes sense, and the wide receiver in the third round makes sense. It's just, I don't know how much I expect even the second or third round picks to really be contributors for sure. It's hard to really judge it outside of who the first round pick is and then just what positions they take in the second through fourth rounds, I would say.
All right, you can chime in if you want to give a grade to it, 844-770-3776. But I want to move on to our poll question. But Benjamin Solak basically broke down some needs and what a perfect draft would be like for these teams. So I want to get to that first, and then we'll get to our kind of to-do list for the Green Bay Packers. And you can vote on which one you like the best. Here's what he started with, and I'll stop after the first paragraph and you guys can let me know what you think about it. The Packers are one of the toughest teams to nail down in the first round. They have several medium needs, none pressing enough that they must be addressed, but all intense enough that a first-round pick would be warranted for the investment. Just off of that, do you agree with that first paragraph?
No, I disagree.
Okay, how come?
Because I feel like cornerback is blatantly obvious that they need to address that. Am I wrong?
In my opinion,
I agree with you.
I'd agree with you. I think Benjamin Solak really appreciates Goody's draft drafting ability more than most Packers fans would, more than most NFL fans would. And I think he maybe just believes in the overall defense more than the weakness in the secondary. Because, I don't know, I remember throughout the season, he was pretty optimistic about what the Packers defense could be next year. And also what it could be even last year.
Interesting.
So to me, he seems like he might just be... I think he might be overrating the Packers defense a little bit. So yeah, I would disagree with him too. I think corner is a pretty pressing need.
Yeah, to me you have literally nobody.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
And the pass rush, honestly, is not as pressing of a need, but it's right up there.
For sure.
So I'm just going to kind of cut down what he said in the second paragraph. Let's start at wide receiver. With both Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs approaching their contract years, there's room for Green Bay to draft a round 1 wide receiver and funnel volume to that player. But only an early pick really makes sense, and that's tough to imagine for either of the draft's top receivers, Ted McMillan or Matthew Golden, making it all the way to number 23. Should either slide, I'd like McMillan for the Packers. Golden feels a little too much like Jaden Reed.
How about Emeka Ibuka?
Emeka Ibuka.
Emeka Ibuka. That's my guy. That's what I want. Where is he going to drop to?
He could be that guy that falls to the second round.
You think
be a
so?
Steal. Everything's the eye of the beholder. He's a guy that is climbing, but then I feel like he's climbed a plateau. So it could be late first, but then the Packers could trade like they did with Christian Watson and trade up in the second round and maybe try to get him in the second round. So.
Which I wouldn't be mad at that. I just want him to be a Green Bay Packer. There's something about the tag that has Ohio State connected to him. Who was it? Mel Kiper saying that he's a professional receiver. Like, I want that. I want that.
Receiver.
And if they could get him in early second round, that'd be fantastic.
I'd feel good about that too. But I imagine trading up to early second round for pick number 54 would probably cost the third and the fourth round pick, though.
Ted McMillan, though, if he fell?
You
good with him?
If he fell, yes.
Okay.
Molly?
Yeah.
Then the next one here, the Packers could also use a first-round offensive tackle. Yes, even after spending their 2024 first-rounder on Jordan Morgan, both Rasheed Walker and Zach Tom are approaching contract years, as is starting guard Sean Ryan, who beat out Morgan for the job last season. I'd imagine they prefer to extend their internal talent and make a middle-round pick at tackle to shore up their depth, but I wouldn't rule out a tackle selection with that first pick.
I could see it.
I think we've gone over it enough times where Goody would be willing to do that just to protect Jordan Love, though I'd be curious to see if he'd be willing to do that and also just kind of admit that Jordan Morgan was a miss last year, if that's the case.
He's never going to admit that, so that's not happening.
I think making the pick would be an admission. Even if he doesn't outright say it, the action tells you it's an admission.
Interesting, because I would actually think of it as he's just building depth because of how their season ended last year.
I think that's part of his mentality this offseason. I think that was part of the Aaron Banks signing too, is that
for sure.
He very much believes that the offensive line needs bigger bodies and guys who can hold up to the Eagles or even the Lions in the division.
Mm-hmm.
Then he has the two most likely positions early round picks for the Packers are cornerback and edge rusher. He says on the edge, the Packers' absence of a reliable outside rusher can be concealed during regular season games, but always rears its ugly head against playoff caliber opponents.
Okay. I mean, I'd be fine with that.
And then the last thing he says here, my bet is on a first-round corner to replace Alexander and run with Nate Hobbs, Xavier McKinney, Evan Williams in a suddenly retooled, fearsome secondary. This is the range for Kentucky's Maxwell Harrison and Texas's Jahdae Barron. Though both lack the ideal measurables for general manager Brian Gutekunst, maybe Trey Amos, Ole Miss surprises here instead. If not a corner, Donovan Ezeraku from Boston College, who played under Jeff Hafley when Jeff Hafley was the coach of Boston College. So that's how he wraps that up there. I'll let you guys react to that.
So just curious, because we've talked about Matt LaFleur's influence on what Brian Gutekunst does in the draft, and I think we've established that there basically
no influence.
Isn't. Yeah. Yes, that he is not involved is what we're being kind of told, what we perceive. So how much does it matter if a guy played with Jeff Hafley at Boston College? Like, is Brian Gutekunst actually taking that into consideration, saying, oh, it'd be cool to reunite the old coach with his old guy?
I think it's more of he goes to Hafley and says, give me your insight on this player. Doesn't mean I'm going to pick this guy for you. Because it is weird.
True.
Is there a player for the Packers on offense, I guess, specifically, that you think that has been kind of picked or kept around just for LaFleur?
There was a player like that. Do you know what his name was? He fell under the Matt Hamilton curse, unfortunately. Josiah the Messiah DeGuara.
Okay, you think so?
Yeah, he was a pick that I believe he wanted him to be his Kyle Juszczyk, and it did not work out. And
Maybe that's why Brian Kudikin doesn't involve Matt LaFleur anymore.
Honestly, I think there could be something to that, actually.
Well, I just think of, like, when I read other mock drafts, and it'll be like, again, the team I follow, Chicago, they'll say, like, well, I could see them taking this guy for Dennis Allen. Or even small stuff of the Bears shored up their offensive line for Ben Johnson. But even, here's the thing, when I read other mock drafts, you can look at any team, the 49ers or whatever, they say this defensive coordinator likes players who look like this. But most of the stuff I read about the Packers is Goody likes this sort of player. But when you read some mock drafts, not all, they talk about, hey, the head coach prefers this type of player, size, length, those sorts of things. On offense and defense, you don't read that as much for the Packers. You read more of Goody likes this.
I think part of it, too, is that we say that it's Goody who likes this. It's what the Packers like. I mean, this is how Ted Thompson drafted players 20 years ago, too. Same philosophy, size, measurables come over production in college.
I meant more of, like, do you think Ted Thompson took more of Holmgren or McCarthy's
feelings
into
consideration?
Or I guess not Holmgren's, McCarthy's.
Well, I guess part of why Holmgren left was because he wanted more GM powers, and the Packers weren't willing to give it to him.
And that wasn't, I don't think Ted Thompson was there at that point. That was probably Ron Wolf. But
true, but I think that's part of it.
So you think it's an organizational philosophy that the GM...
I think it's institutional, yes.
Okay.
It's organizational, institutional. I think Goody is just part of that system.
And does that just have to do with the fact that the Packers are kind of a three-headed monster, in a sense, right? Like, does he have more power than maybe other GMs do because there isn't an owner? Does that come into play here?
Well, you don't have an owner who might walk down and tell you, hey,
like Jerry Jones is making picks for the Cowboys.
I would say you also could have an owner that comes down and says, play nice. Like, you have an owner where, let's say you're hiring the GM and, you're going to be like, hey, if you're hiring, like the owner might say, I want to know what the head coach and the defensive coordinator and others think about things. You don't get to operate in a silo. Like the Packers seem on the outside looking in, and obviously they've had success. And maybe we can ask Tauscher about this. They seem more, he's joining the show at 5:30 later today, they seem more siloed than other NFL teams as far as involving how much the coach staff is involved in a pick.
Like we've said time and time again, and it comes back to the whole grocery list thing, is that Matt LaFleur's just given a bunch of groceries and he's expected to cook with it versus actually being able to pick what he wants as his ingredients?
Felt like Green Bay to me.
That's what it feels like.
All right, so I want to get to our Siding Unlimited poll question after we asked that, after we kind of read through Benjamin Solak's view right there. And I want to get to our poll question, which is, this is our Siding Unlimited poll question. What is the best combination of prospects? What is the best combination of positions for the Packers to draft with their top 4 picks? Easy for me to say. 844-770-3776. Carlos talking text line. This is more our Siding Unlimited poll question. What is the best combination of positions for the Packers to draft with their top 4 picks? You can go with, you're going to be given options, as I came up with a to-do list, that the first 4 picks should go cornerback, wide receiver, edge, and then cornerback again. Molly?
Mine is wide receiver, cornerback, edge, cornerback. But here's the thing, you guys.
Okay.
I put wide receiver first because I want Emeka
Egbuka.
Got it right. Emeka Egbuka. That's the only reason I put that as number 1, if I'm being honest.
Professional receiver.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
However, I would take a cornerback number 1.
So he's your. So honestly, for Molly, I'm kind of interested just putting Emeka Egbuka instead of wide receiver in that case.
Literally. But if you guys say that he could potentially drop to the second round, well then my list is kind of backwards.
It's just this draft, there's, I think, so many players that kind of have a grade of like, hey, maybe you're the 15th best player, but maybe you're the 40th best player, depending on what a team wants, what they like, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Different other years. And Ryan, your list?
So what I had for mine was cornerback, then edge rusher, then wide receiver, then offensive line for the Packers. And edge, so pass rusher, not an interior guy, but a true standing up, hopefully could replace Lucas Van Ness or Sean Gary soon, edge pass rusher.
So you can chime in on that, 844-770-3776. On the Carlos Talking text line, list is more. Carbon World Health will give you more. You can get great workouts over on their West Side or the Madison location. You also can go to Sun Prairie for their med spa side of things. Both locations will have the ability to help you with hormone replacement treatment. Don't just settle for the right amount of testosterone for your age. Get the right testosterone amount for a better life. Also, asked them about GLP-1 semaglutide, the FDA-approved, game-changing FDA-approved weight loss treatment that I used for a long time, and has helped me maintain and keep the weight, and it's helped many different levels in my life with semaglutide. You can ask them about that at Carbon World Health, and of course, the workout facility at Carbon World Health, along with cryotherapy and red light therapy in the Madison location. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
You can take the boy out of North Carolina, but you can't take the North Carolina out of the boy. I like me some Bulldogs up here on the Packers.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. I've been drinking ZOA Energy for a while now, and I absolutely love it. ZOA is my go-to beverage when I need a boost without the crash that comes with other energy drinks. It's packed with natural ingredients like vitamin B and C, electrolytes, and has zero sugar. It fuels my workouts and busy days. I recently had twins, and I have a toddler, so I need all of the energy I can get. Head over to ZOAEnergy.com to find the location nearest to you to pick up some ZOA for yourself. ZOA Energy for balance and drive.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
It's our lowest prices of the season, in-store and online at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Right now, shop the season's best values on supplies to make projects your own. Like select DeWalt 20-volt tool batteries, just $37 while supplies last. Save 20% on assorted Longfield spring bulbs. Assorted DIY oil change essentials, also 20% off. And a Kurt loaded trailer hitch mount with 2-inch ball, $29.99. Don't miss our lowest prices of the season, only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison. Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Molly Brown. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream along with Primetime Will Shine. We are presented by Coors Light. You can get into the show, 844-770-3776 on the Cardinals Talk and Text line. List is more. Our Siding Unlimited poll question is, what is the best combination of positions for the Packers to draft with their top 4 picks? You can go with multiple options, including my option of cornerback, wide receiver, edge, and cornerback. Molly Brown's option of wide receiver, cornerback, edge, and cornerback. And Primetime's option of cornerback, edge, wide receiver, and O-line. Prime, explain yourself why you did not double up on the cornerback position like Molly and I.
Because I do believe they have enough bodies in the room. Like you were saying yesterday, actually, on our show from 4 to 6, you were saying that you feel like they have a lot of just guys in the secondary. And a lot of them are guys who I think are like C and maybe even B level players. Nate Hobbs, fingers crossed, he could end up being like a B level player as a second or third cornerback. Same with Keyshawn Nixon, too. So I think, it's a lot to ask one rookie corner to come in and be, the CB1 right away, a true CB1, unlike, Keyshawn Nixon.
Dog.
But I do think that they just need a guy who fits that athletic profile on the outside, a guy like Will Johnson, where if you get that to fill the gap on the outside, then the other guys could fill into the rest of their spots pretty well. Now, it's just a lot to bank on that one cornerback you take in the first round will hit. But at the end of the day, I think Goody's a good GM and a pretty good drafter. His first-round picks haven't hit nearly enough, and that's why the Packers don't have enough stars on their team. So I think he needs to finally hit on one in this year's draft. They have enough just guys or good guys, but they need a great player to pair up in the secondary with Xavier McKinney and then Edgerrin Cooper, off ball.
And I guess with 3 offensive linemen up for contracts, I would imagine Tom might be the only one they actually re-signed. Zach Tom, because Sean Ryan and Rasheed Walker.
Rasheed Walker's currently the left tackle, yeah.
And let them walk.
Yeah, I think Rasheed Walker will get paid elsewhere. He'll get a decent contract, but I think that they're trying to make Jordan Morgan happen at left tackle, which
trying to make Fetch happen.
But he
but
could also happen at guard because if Ryan leaves as well.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So I think that's part of the reasoning of drafting a guy like Morgan. If he doesn't work at tackle, you still got him at guard, and then that way you can go with, you have Tom, Morgan, the dude they signed for the 49ers,
Aaron
Banks, and then Elton Jenkins at center, and then you still have the left tackle to replace.
And then the really nice thing about Elton Jenkins is he's proven he can play at a high level at guard, center, or left tackle.
The interesting thing with Jenkins is is he happy with this move? It's a pay cut to go from guard to center.
Well, his money doesn't change.
Right, but I mean going forward, his next contract.
I think that's the big question, too, of do they re-sign Jenkins to a third contract?
And I don't think he might not want it here because they don't owe him anything.
No, by no means. But, I mean, he doesn't owe them anything either.
True. But, when you are moved, that sort of stuff matters to the players because they understand that centers get paid less than guards do. So him getting moved does affect his overall ability to get paid here. And I'm trying to so his contract, they probably won't re-sign him. So, at age 30 this next year and then the following year at 31, he probably is – this is the way to stay on the team. I didn't realize he was that old. I'll be honest. I thought he was
I don't think I did either.
I thought he was closer to 27. So I guess I'm just off by a few years.
Also, I'm just looking at their depth chart. It's kind of fun looking at the Packers depth chart on ESPN.com because I'm learning all these names that honestly I don't know if I've ever heard. Sean Ryan's backups, do you guys know what their names are? At right guard?
I believe at right guard.
All right, you're going to know
Jordan
the
Morgan
answer.
would be one of them, right?
No, Jordan Morgan is left tackle listed on here.
Oh, okay. So
that's interesting.
All right, who are the other guys?
I don't know if I'm gonna say this right. Marquise Hayes or Marcus Hayes and Donovan Jennings are behind Sean Ryan. Have either of you heard those names?
Those are AI made up placeholder names.
Yeah,
basically. Yes.
Those are randomized players on Madden.
So maybe
it's for ESPN, so their website doesn't collapse. You just have to fill in names.
And then, do you guys know Zach Tom's backups?
Give them to us.
There's none listed.
Okay.
So I mean, I think.
So they have 2 backup right guards, but no backup left guard.
Yep.
Well, okay.
Well, left guard, they have Aaron Banks listed. Then they have Kadeem Telfort and then Travis Glover, both of which we saw in that playoff game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Both get just demolished.
Yeah.
So you are or I am talking myself into more and more offensive line in this draft. So
corner
Ryan
needs more
Gutekunst.
bodies because again, Valentine is a fine player. And I know that one angry guy on social is like, "Oh, the secondary stinks. What about safeties?" All right, Xavier McKinney's elite. Evan Williams and Javon Bullard, TBD. They could end up being good players, but are they going to be stars? Or are they going to be good, like Adrian Amos type NFL starters? Which is fine, but your defense, as broken out by Benjamin Solak, you don't have the pass rush. You don't have that werewolf to go get the quarterback regularly. Do not give me Rashawn Gary as a name. And then
I'm not Matt.
And
Pressure,
Cooper
pressure.
or your linebackers in general, if they're getting pressure with blitzes, which is not a sustainable way to do things, especially in the playoffs. You need that. So you need levels. You don't have anyone on that first level as a werewolf. Level 2, maybe that's Cooper. And then level 3, I guess 3 and 4, you have that in McKinney, but you don't have that. I don't think you don't have that in, let's say, what other on the outside, the cornerback right now with Jair gone.
On the outside right now, they're betting on it being Nate Hobbs.
Yeah, that's not a werewolf. That's a nice. He's a starter.
No, I'm not
He's
saying he's
there.
a werewolf.
He's a body.
I'm saying that, like,
actually a
for
Raider.
a really good defense, you'd want a stud, a werewolf on the D line, a werewolf at linebacker, a werewolf at safety up the middle, and then on the outside. You can make a case they
It's
have
a lot of werewolves.
Yes, but that's an elite defense. If you have
Werewolves are lone wolves usually, from what I've known.
McKinney, Cooper maybe, and then nothing on the line. And then nothing on the edge.
You could. I don't think Kenny Clark's nothing.
He's not a bad. I'm just saying you don't have like that stud. However you want to do it, he's good. He's not a stud anymore. He used to be a stud.
Okay.
Good, not great.
Okay, but so what's your definition of werewolf? Like top 5 at his position?
What you're paying Rashawn Gary to be?
Top 5 at his position. Well, I don't know if he's top 5
How
anymore.
about top?
Actually,
Yeah, I don't. And
he's top 10. McKinney for sure, but he's the All-Pro last year. But there's only 2 All-Pros a year at safety.
And you know, I was saying he's unquestionably one. Jair healthy is.
So I guess my question more so
A
is
field
like
tilter.
A field tilting player.
Yeah.
Okay. So Adrian Cooper and McKinney, I think we're saying are the only 2 field tilters they have on defense.
Yeah, Rashawn Gary's not.
No. I don't.
So then I
either.
think ideally to have an elite defense, you need 2 more.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
And so that's where you have to acquire them. One would be on the edge at corner for one of them, and one could be on the edge in the pass rush or in the middle.
Would it work as well if they ended up getting 2 werewolves on the edge at pass rusher, but none at corner? So you just have to really get to the quarterback?
Well, that would be the thing. And we talked about it yesterday. The concern is they don't have the pass rush, and then if you have average corners, because again, McKinney's a good player, but he's not the coverage guy. Obviously McKinney's an elite player, but he's not a coverage guy.
He's not a coverage guy? He had 7 picks in 7 games.
But that is more of your helping in coverage. You're not
okay. So
your number
not,
one number one corner. Like he can play. He's a good. I'm not saying he can't cover the pass, but with McKinney, you're not locking him up on the top 2 receivers at number 1.
He's not.
He's not going 1-on-1.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to put him on in coverage at best at tight end, most likely.
If that even. He's really great as the backfield
Center fielder.
general.
Yeah. And he's amazing at it. But like, who is covering? Like, he can only do so much. If Nixon's out there giving up the boundary like he did against Detroit, that lost them the game, where he gave up the boundary so the guy could catch the ball and get out of bounds instead of forcing them inside. Like, those are the small things that Nixon screws up on. And Hobbs, I think, is a legit starter. But I think when you look at this team, you have to the corners. Out of the 3, you have 1 legit starting corner in Hobbs, and I think you have a starting slot in Nixon, and you need another outside corner. If you think Nixon's outside corner for the rest of the NFC North, thank you.
Dog.
I appreciate it. Molly, get out of here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, bye.
She's getting out of here because we got Minute to Win It from my good friends at North and South Sea from the Smokehouse. Ryan Molly's just taking her sweet time getting out of here.
Just say how you really feel about her, Jim. Come on. You don't have to say it's the Minute to Win It that you told her to get out of here.
I just wanted to get out of here. What is the category?
So we're talking about some dogs. We're talking about some werewolves.
Dogs. Yeah.
And so I was actually Googling some of the former werewolves on the Green Bay Packers. I saw Molly in the office here at the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studio offices.
Yeah.
She was looking up who the Packers' leading pass rusher was over the past few years. Made me wonder who the top 10 all-time leaders in sacks are in Packers franchise history. And now these are the leaders in sacks like with the Packers.
Okay, so top 10
sacks all-time Packers history.
All right.
What do we set the over-under at for Molly?
I
I will say, looking at this list, and if I was in her shoes, I could actually name at max 5 of these guys.
Okay, well, 3.5.
3.5? All right, 3.5. Callers, let's go. Caller number 2, caller number 3. Packers got the 23rd overall pick.
844-770-3776. Caller number 2, caller number 3. You're at least going to get a $25 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. If you pick the correct over-under, you'll get a $50 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. 844-770-3776. Again, the top 10 all-time leaders in sacks for the Green Bay Packers in history. The over-under is 3.5. 844-770-3776. Caller number 2. Caller number 3. You're at least going to get a $25 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC.
With your Badger Minute, I'm Riley Yauk. It's been a rough week for Wisconsin football, to say the least, and things went from bad to worse Tuesday morning as head coach Luke Fickell confirmed that starting left tackle Kevin Haywood will undergo ACL surgery and more than likely miss the entirety of the 2025 season. Haywood started every game for the Badgers last year and by all accounts was having an impressive spring. Junior Josh Layton has been practicing in his stead.
Everyone is talking about the draft, but you won't feel one from high-quality Pella Windows. Get no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades today at PellaWI.com.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin, upload a photo to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. Yes, you heard me correctly. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including a design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Lugstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for your chance to win.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Sounds like we had some ineligibility issues with our second caller. So instead, right now, 844-770-3776, the first caller to call in will be our second participant in Minute to Win It, brought to you by our good friends at North and South Seafood Smokehouse. So if you want to get in, 844-770-3776. We accidentally picked someone who was ineligible. So now it's your opportunity. 844-770-3776 is how you can get into Minute to Win It and get a $25 or $50 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. 3 great locations in the Madison area. You got Madison, you got DeForest, and you have their location in Verona, which is the one that I usually go to. But all 3 locations are going to provide an amazing opportunity for you to have a great family night out, a great date night. You can go for their happy hour. You can have it delivered. You can carry it out. You can have them cater. Whatever the occasion, North and South Seafood and Smokehouse will come through for you. And we're going to get the Minute to Win It in a second here. Ryan, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, let's get the Minute to Win It.
Will they beat the odds?
I say everything with pure confidence, whether I think I'm totally right or not.
Or crumble under pressure?
I legitimately know one of these. I legitimately have one.
This is the Minute to Win It, presented by North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, with 3 locations in Madison, DeForest, and Verona.
So, Molly, obviously last segment we were talking about some of the werewolves that the Packers maybe do and don't have.
Dog.
And I noticed early in the office today, you were also perusing some of the werewolves of the Packers over the past few years. What were you looking at? What were you Googling around 2:30 today?
Around 2:30 today. How do you know the precise time? What was I Googling? I've Googled a lot of stuff today.
You were looking up the Packers' leading pass rusher, leader in sacks each year over the past few years.
Is this really what you're going to do to me?
Well, what I'm going to do to you actually is have you name the top 10 leaders in sacks in Packers franchise history.
Ready?
Not that hard.
Don't let her think.
Okay, he doesn't get to think. Your timer starts now.
Reggie White.
Reggie White is on the list. He's actually number 5.
Gilbert Brown.
Gilbert Brown is not on the list.
I would have been shocked.
Interior D lineman doesn't get that many
Clay
sacks.
Matthews.
Clay Matthews is number 2 on the list.
There's no way that Rashawn Gary's on this, but I feel like AJ Hawk. Ugh, I don't like that guess. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. You get to pull it back.
Unless I'm right.
Oh,
I
no,
don't think
that's
I am.
not
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. Let's think. God, the Smith brothers weren't there long enough. I'm sweating. Can you give me a hint?
No. There's no hints.
I don't know any answers. I can't even give you a guess. Give me some hints. Jim, help.
No, I'm not. I don't play. We set it low.
I'm just trying to think. Rashawn Gary stinks, so there's no way. I'm trying to think within the last couple of years, they've been awful.
Okay, so you had Clay Matthews and Reggie
White.
Yep, those are 2 obvious ones.
Yeah.
Over-under was set
What
at
about
3.5,
Aaron
by the way.
Catman?
Aaron Catman is
Wouldn't have gotten
in the top 10. He's number 9, actually.
Alrighty. And then let's go, man. Trying to think of that era. I feel like there's another linebacker, outside player. There's no way that's not Nick Perry. It's not.
You're in the wrong era. I'll say that.
Am I gonna go back to the 90s?
Yeah. Go back to the 80s, the 60s.
Jesus.
Go back to the 90s.
Is
go
that a
back
joke?
to the 80s
Bryce
again.
Pop.
Bryce Pop.
I've never heard that name before.
He's not on this list. I don't know if that's a nickname.
Tim Harris.
Tim Harris is on there. He's number 8. 1986 to 1990 for the Packers. Had 55 sacks in 5 years. Okay.
Yeah, he was a beast.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, I think that.
Willie Davis.
Willie Davis is number 1.
You pull up the list.
No.
All right. Well, what are the rest? Because I thought I did pretty good.
Ezra Johnson, 1977 to 87.
Nope, never got that one.
KGB.
Ah,
yeah, that's a big one. That was the big one that I think I could have gotten, but I would have been impressed with myself if I had. Molly,
all right, I don't even feel bad about how I performed on this because some of these names I've never heard or seen in my life.
Ford.
Lionel Aldridge.
Yeah, that sounds like a tap dancing actor from back in the day.
Henry Jordan.
That's an NBA player for all I know.
Exactly. Tim Harris, Aaron Campman, and then Clarence Williams. He sounds like he plays the clarinet. What the hell kind of list is this that you set me up with?
Well, okay, the over-under was 3.5.
Okay, but you should have made it 1.5 and I would have crushed.
Yeah,
I felt bad doing this, but Ryan said he thought he could do 5.5, so I knocked it down to 3.5.
No. I said I think I could name maybe 5 of these guys, is what I said. If I wasn't being timed.
I'm going back. I'm just trying to even look. Preston Smith, 14. Nick Perry, 16.
Preston Smith on my list is 11, actually.
Oh, interesting. With how many?
With 44.
Oh, see, he's listed as 33.5. So maybe this is from when he was still playing, potentially?
Yeah, that could have been before, maybe the 2023 season.
Mike Daniels.
Yeah, I know.
So
20.
Who was 10 on the list? What's the number? How many sacks?
Number 10 was Clarence Williams with 51 sacks.
Okay, so Bryce, just a little education here. Bryce Pop had 32.5 sacks with the Green Bay Packers. He came in as a rookie. He played with them until he had his last year with the Packers. He was a Pro Bowler in 1994. Then he went to Buffalo and was Defensive Player of the Year, 17.5 sacks. He finished with a career of 75 sacks. Okay. Played for Buffalo, Jacksonville, and 1 year in Minnesota. But he got his start in Green Bay.
He's listed as 15 on my list.
So, but he didn't have enough.
Sacks.
I was just curious. I mentioned his name earlier because I knew that he was a guy who got a ton of sacks in the NFL. I just didn't realize that he really broke out for that amazing season the year he left the Packers.
Yeah, I will say, but most of the lists in the teens, Preston Smith, I know just because of recency. Rashawn Gary, surprisingly on this list. Mike Douglas, not Mike Daniels, apparently on this list. Also, Tony Bennett is on the list, not the college basketball coach, in case you were wondering. Kenny Clark.
Not the singer?
No, neither of them, actually. I'm amazed there's another Tony Bennett just in the history. Nick Perry all the way down at 19. Vonnie Holliday at 18. Yeah,
Vonnie Holliday, a little GKB history for you. Vonnie Holliday used to do a show with Stephen Craig, and he was the nicest dude in the world, and he actually played for Miami Dolphins. When I covered the Dolphins, I got to cover for a year or two. Really, really great dude.
A lot of GKB connections there for Vonnie.
Well, think about it. We have the station in ESPN West Palm Beach, and then the Green Bay, and the Stephen Craig side of it. David Deerfield, who seems to have a problem with me over the last few days, he did chime in with Sean Jones, and that's not a bad one because he had 10.5 sacks, and then 9, and then 5, so that puts him a little bit behind Bryce Pop. But he didn't play here long enough. But Sean Jones was a name that did pop into my head, but I didn't think he played here long enough to be able to do that. 94, 95, 96. He had 113 career sacks, though. So
he's
it was
not on my list.
a good guess, but he would have been a guy that didn't play for the Packers.
It is
long
crazy.
enough.
Looking at the list that I have from Pro Football Reference, it indicates that there's never been a player with more than 100 sacks in their Packers career. Willie Davis is the top of the list with 99.5. Yeah.
Imagine being that guy.
Just imagine the fact that the Packers don't have a player who's had 100 sacks.
I don't think that's as crazy. So I just I just Googled up the Bears, the Monsters of the Midway. They have one guy, 124.5 sacks with Richard Dent.
Okay.
Then McMichael at 92.5, and then Dan Hampton at 57. Because it just gets
that's
harder.
A big drop off.
Well, right, yeah. Dan Hampton's a D tackle. Then you have Alex Brown, 43.5. Their best players were linebackers, though.
Wait, is that from that team, the Monsters in the Midway team? Or
They're actually all
Bears?
three on the same team, but that's all time.
But that's Bears franchise history. They just all three happen to be on
crazy.
that 80s Bears run.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why they were called the greatest defense of all time. All three are in the Hall of Fame, I believe. I know McMichael and Dent are. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We'll continue the show on the other side.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's premier roofing, siding, and window contractor since 2002. Visit them at ridgetopexteriors.com. The Milwaukee Brewers bouncing back after a rough 3-game losing stretch against the Arizona Diamondbacks and then the first game of their series against the Tigers on Monday. But the Brewers roaring back over the last 2 games as they were able to steal the series, finishing up today with a 5-1 win against their Detroit foes. Brewers now 10-9 on the season, back-to-back wins, and they'll have the day off tomorrow before starting a home series against the Athletics. Jose Quintana, starring for the Brewers since joining the team this offseason. In his first 2 starts with the Milwaukee Brewers, he has posted 12 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 7 of those being singles, 1 run, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Some much-needed pitching depth for the Brew Crew, who still are missing about 6 of the projected starters leading into the season. Make sure to catch every Brewers game right here on 100.5 ESPN. Then also, we're home in the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks start their playoff run against the Pacers this Saturday. Tip-off is at noon. Catch that game as well at 100.5 ESPN.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
We're learning a lot about each other.
It's Murr.
I'm the flower from It's Murr.
Mr. David Deerfield says Naughty Molly rears her dirty mind once again. Let's go with Texas A&M edge Shamar Stewart, the workout, the Underwear Olympics star. Shamar Stewart.
See, so what makes me excited about that is...
Underwear Olympics?
Yes, Underwear Olympics. Actually, Captain Underpants is what I'm going to call him if they do end up getting him.
Perfect.
That'd be perfect.
God, I want that pick now.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, alongside Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
Hour number 2 of Jim, Matt, and Molly, live from the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
Get into the show, 844-770-3776. It's Carl was talking text line. This is more. And we have a side and limited poll question. What is the best combination of positions for the Packers to draft with their top 4 picks? Right now, it is cornerback. It is Prime's pick here. Cornerback, edge, wide receiver, O-line. Followed by mine, cornerback, wide receiver, edge, cornerback, and then Molly, dead last. People hate your picks.
Okay, it's all okay, but I would wait.
Savage.
Did you put Emeka Ibuka? Did you put him as my?
I did not
And also,
specify
he
which
put.
wide receiver.
Did you update this poll, or am I looking at the wrong one? Because the first one you have is W-E.
Oh, did I put that as the option? W-we?
Yeah.
Whoops. Well.
Wait, is
That's
that
not
mine?
why. Yeah, but that's not why.
That's why.
I
For
literally
sure.
read this 6 times, and then finally the 7th time I
it's
saw
wide
it.
receiver, wide receiver. Emeka Ibuka. That's what it is. Obviously, wide receiver Emeka.
Okay, but here's the thing. Like, if you're not listening to the show, listening to my reasoning, I'm fine getting a wide receiver in the 2nd round. Just I want Emeka Ibuka.
Okay, well, you know what you should do, Molly?
What?
Go on your phone.
I voted for myself. I voted for we.
Don't just vote for yourself. Don't vote for we. Go out there, quote tweet it, and say, I want Emeka Ibuka in the 1st round. Who's with me?
Should I just say, this is fake news? I want Emeka Ibuka.
Fake news.
It's your pick. It's your.
I hugely have the best pick. Even though I'm wrong, understand that I'm right.
Importantness.
I'm really white right now, though, but I do need to get a spray tan. So, I mean, I could pull it off more next week.
All right, shifting back to the actual poll question, I will say...
Ryan's winning.
I will say, well, Matt Hamilton did text in his option for what the best combination of positions would be.
Matt Hamilton out till Thursday. Yeah, but yeah.
I'm a nut.
Yes.
Forgot him.
But he did remember to respond to us 20 minutes after he posted the poll question. He said he would want cornerback, wide receiver, cornerback, edge.
So we all like the double ups except for you.
Yeah. I think it just goes to show that there's a lot of positions to fill. They need to backfill a lot of things.
I do what Benjamin Solak said about they don't have high needs, but they have multiple medium needs. I think it's a fair way to look at their draft here. I want to do this, and we can do this. Maybe we do it Thursday because I feel like draft week's going to be a little bit nuts, and Molly's out on Friday. We'll have a little in-show production meeting before we go to break here. So I like this idea, and I want to crowdsource it. 844-770-3776. It's a Carlos Talking text line. List is more. I want to have I don't want him draft. Like, for me, Cam Scadaboo, I don't want him anywhere near my football.
He crushed.
He screams like
bust,
like fan favorite human. What's the word? Mascot sort of guy.
What game was that? He was
loser.
insane. Right at the end of the year for ASU.
That was the playoff game against Texas.
Was it against Texas that he crushed?
It was. It's a good defense, Texas.
See, but how come you can say that about him, but then like people don't say that about Ashton Genty? Right? Like, how come nobody says, well, it was just college?
Because Ashton Genty's yards after contact are more yards than any other running back had in college.
But he played for Boise State? Does that impact
he
it?
gained more yards, but also all his testing shows up. It'd be better, too.
Okay.
And
I'm not saying that
also,
I'm
Cam
huge.
can't. There was this term, I can't remember where I heard it, but someone was talking about a player. I was actually on Pat the Designer's podcast, our good friends with ESPN Chicago, the Chicago Bears podcast, but he was, someone relayed a story to him. I think it was John Yurkovich relayed a story to him where they were talking about a player for the Chicago Bears that they picked up in like the 7th round of the draft. They're like, what do you think about, I think he might have played for the Packers too, LaShawn Johnson. And the scout said, love LaShawn Johnson, but he couldn't dodge or couldn't like deke or duke or miss a tree stump in a giant giant field. Like, if he's running forward and there's a tree stump in front of him, he can't get around it. He has to run through it. So, like, that's what Cam Scadaboo seems to me like. He could not juke a tree stump in a open field.
Do you know off the top of your head, like, where is he getting projected to go?
4th or 5th.
Okay.
But I still don't want him. But my thing is, I just don't like guys like that. He also just seems like a spaz. Like, I feel like if like a locker room cancer, because he's going to be in there and people be like, bro, just chill. You're like our 3rd running back. Can you just shut up and stop like talking? But I would say I want to do a back to the thing, who I don't want for your own team, but also a little draft of who you don't want for the teams in the NFC North. So, like, if you're a Packer fan, then we can hold you accountable. If you're a Packer fan and you say, I don't want Shamar Stewart, and he ends up on there, we get to be like, you have to, like, especially for like a guy like Matt, you have to hate this pick then. You know what I mean? Like, I want a guy where you're like, I don't want this player I don't want this guy. Let's say I'm a Packer fan, and I say I don't want Shamar Stewart. If the Packers pick Shamar Stewart, you have to own that you didn't want him. You can't pretend that you're excited about it now because there's a guy you just don't want to play for the Green Bay Packers.
So is this all just because of Matt Hamilton?
No, because we could do it for the Vikings. So, like, who do you not want the Vikings to pick? Is like that person's going to be a star, and it could be a problem for the Vikings. So, like, a mock draft based on what you don't want to happen.
I would say just start prepping for it tomorrow.
I don't want to happen mock draft just for the NFC North.
We got to come up with a better name, but yes, I like the idea.
Okay, we'll do it tomorrow.
Hated it. Mock draft.
Hated it. You know what else I hate?
Yeah.
The Badgers losing all their good players in the transfer portal.
Did they lose another player?
Officially, Tanner Koziol has entered the transfer portal, re-entered the transfer portal from the Wisconsin Badgers. The former Ball State tight end who entered and joined the Badgers in the December
Was this like 2 days ago?
But it was not official then.
It wasn't
Okay,
official.
gotcha.
The transfer portal officially opened today, so now it is official. He is leaving the Badgers without ever playing a game for the Badgers.
So
it's probably their best transfer portal edition of the offseason.
All right, so this might be like naive of me, but do people actually care? Like, those names to the average fan, does this even matter as news anymore because it happens so frequently that it's so difficult to keep up with? Like, you can listen to all the different things, you can see all the tweets, but at some point it all just kind of becomes convoluted and confusing, and then you're like, I don't even know who's on the roster anymore. That's how I feel.
Saying there. I think
that's very fair.
I understand people care about it, but
hopefully there's a lot of people that care about it because you can watch the Jump Around, our Badger dedicated digital show, and you can watch it at 12:30 on ESPN Madison's YouTube page every Thursday.
I love your show. I love your show.
You can listen back to ESPN on the new ESPN Wisconsin app as well. I get what you're saying. I think for college athletics, it is very much a casual sport for plenty, but I feel like there's a niche group. It's diehards, but I feel like college football there's like either you're out like you are or you're in more than other sports. Like there's not.
Fair.
So if you're like Riley and I'm closer to in than out, obviously. But like Riley, obviously he is Riley Yauk. He's the producer of the Jump Around. He is in on all this stuff. Ryan, obviously, super into college football. So I think it does create a little bit more of a have or have not as far as information. But yeah, I think honestly you could look at college football a little bit like politics. Like, you know what? Don't even get stressed about it until you have to vote, or in this case, until you got to watch your team play.
That's literally kind of how I feel about the Badgers, where I'm like, all right, their first game is August 28th. Yes, I'm going to be paying attention because I'm obviously in this world and I hear it and I hear everybody talk about it and I get the notifications. I see it all. But like, I'm not actually going to care until right before the season. And maybe that's poor of me, but it's just way too hard to keep
I know
up
you
with.
care a lot about Zoa, though.
I do care a lot about Zoa, and I've been drinking it for a while now, and I absolutely love it. You guys know that I had twins, and I have a 2-year-old, so I need all the energy that I can get, and Zoa gives me the perfect boost without the crash that comes with the other energy drinks. You can find Zoa anywhere that you get your groceries. Head over to zoaenergy.com to learn more. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
But
I've never seen the movie either.
I've only seen the
Really?
Yeah, I have no interest in the movie.
Oh my gosh, the movie is terrible. Terribly awesome. You just
movie?
touched my butt, Dewey. I know your tricks, Dewey. What? I quote that all the time.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Ready to live the high life at home? Miller High Life is giving one lucky winner the ultimate backyard dive bar experience. It's a cabana complete with classic bar vibes, neon lights, and of course, plenty of high life. To enter, just order a Miller High Life at any participating dive bars in the Madison area and register with the link to the Miller High Life Backyard Dive Bar giveaway. Get a ticket to Dive Bar Glory at your local watering hole, like whatever bar, the Dive Inn, the Shed in DeForest, and Old Duffer's Pub.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on the Packers. He's also on the American Family Insurance Team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, JOEQ. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on the Packers. He's also on the American Family Insurance Team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
When you've been seriously injured, you need a trusted team on your side. Gruber Law Offices is available 24/7 and will even come to you. Your first call is free. Your first visit is free. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This message is sponsored by WisCaregiver.com. Now is the time to start a meaningful career as a caregiver. Make a real difference in people's lives. WisCaregiver.com gives you 2 great options for free. Train for the in-demand caregiver workforce as a CDCP, Certified Direct Care Professional, or become a CNA, Certified Nurse Aide. All training is free. Plus, you can earn a $500 bonus. Learn more. Visit WisCaregiver.com.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
I'm hot like the prodigal son. Big up Bartolini, meeny, money, mo, and flower. You're the chosen
Go be a
one.
winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. I'm Jim Rutledge. I'm a winner alongside a fellow winner, Molly Brown, in the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light, Primetime Wollersheim. Also a winner, Matt Hamilton. I don't know what he is doing. So maybe he's a winner today. Maybe he's not, but he'll be back at it tomorrow, so we'll all be winners. And you can be a winner by going to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Mark Tauscher joins the show in a few minutes. Let's throw some stones.
1, 2, 3,
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
That was cooler than being cool. Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
And we're a little bit behind time, but Jim, apparently you saw something from Time that you aren't too happy about?
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Colin Cowherd because he's the first one to point this out that I saw, but I do want to bring it to everyone else's attention. So Time 100 did the most influential people 2025. So there's athletes on the list, and these are people for 2025, so who they think will be the most influential people in 2025. And the athletes on the list, and we'll kind of run through them and give them a thumbs up, or you can agree or disagree. Jalen Hurts, defending Super Bowl MVP.
Thumbs up.
Yep. Serena Williams, 3 years retired, but apparently she's still doing a lot of moves in the sports world.
She performed in the Super Bowl.
But I think that
Thumbs
they
up.
mean more than that. WNBA star Breanna Stewart, and then Nafisa Collier, who founded a new women's basketball league and put on a successful first season this past winter.
Cool.
So I'll give that. Simone Biles.
Yep.
Most successful Olympic gymnast in history. And then Leon Marchand, a French swimmer, who was an absolute sensation in Paris. So are you fine with all those? Is there what athlete?
Why
do you
Breanna
thi-
Stewart?
She's good at basketball. She's influential. My question is there a player that stands out to you that should be on the list? And I guess I already told you guys, but Caitlin Clark. She needs to be on the list. This isn't the best players list. Caitlin Clark. And look, the WNBA has still the tailwinds of the Caitlin Clark and college basketball has the tailwinds of the Caitlin Clark effect. Last year, this last NCAA tournament, the women's tournament, they had the second highest ratings of all time. Second only to last year with Caitlin Clark, which means they outperformed other years with Caitlin Clark. And then the WNBA draft had its second highest ratings of all time, second only to Caitlin Clark one. So that means she has the rising tide lifts all boats. She is the rising tide for the WNBA.
Arenas are being sold out.
She's going to have a new shoe coming out here soon from Nike. It was brought to my attention she didn't have one. And I was like, that's wild. But then I Googled it. One is coming. She sells out arenas. She sells out the Kohl Center for women's basketball, which does not sell out otherwise. I mean, Juju Watkins did sell it out. But my point is, how in God's green earth is Caitlin Clark not on the most influential athlete list?
It's absolutely crazy.
I mean, it's not top 100 influential athletes, but if there's multiple athletes on it, how is she not on this list?
For sure. She's, out of all of those, probably the most influential.
She has the ability, and not as a player, but as a impact personality, she has the ability to be the Michael Jordan of
for sure
the WNBA.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan's winning obviously was a part of it, but Michael Jordan's legacy still lingers in the NBA with his shoe and obviously the overall lift that he brought to the league.
He changed the game.
And Magic Johnson, and this is no disrespect to the players who are currently playing in the WNBA or played afterwards. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, plenty of great players were playing at the time when Jordan arrived who had done great things for the league. But Jordan lifted it to an entire other level. And look, he had to face the same crap that Caitlin Clark faces from some players when he came in, and Caitlin Clark has to face it. I feel like that dies down over time. It did with Jordan, and it will. I think it already has with Caitlin. I think I saw Diana Taurasi was making fun of herself with Caitlin Clark, talking about, like she was going to have a wake-up moment, and she did not have a wake-up moment. Caitlin Clark won, Rookie of the Year, and I would say would be a MVP.
Okay.
A favorite to finish in the top 3 or to 5 of the MVP this year. Because if you think about it, she had to go from wrapping up her college basketball season to the WNBA draft to basically their season starting.
And I mean, she probably could have been on the Olympic team too.
Yes.
Like,
that is
let's
still
not
crazy.
forget that.
That's still crazy that they left her off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she could have I don't know if she could have handled it with the physical workload of coming out of college, then to the WNBA, then go play in the Olympics. Would have been a lot.
But then they just have the conversation. They tell they bring it up to Caitlin and they say like, hey, we just don't think that this is good for Caitlin / a diminished Caitlin Clark because of all this that she's had to do is good for her and good for the league.
Yeah.
It's not good for her health to play that much. Like that would have been an easier way around it. But
true.
We have Mark Tauscher coming up next. We can ask him about what he thinks about the to-do list for the Green Bay Packers, and we'll ask him what he thinks about maybe Caitlin Clark not being on the top 100 most influential people as an athlete. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Medicine on YouTube.
Cheesy Bites Pizza is back at Pizza Hut. For only $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. Plus, it comes with Pizza Hut's very own Ranch Lovers Flight, featuring 3 bold dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Ready to dip into deliciousness? Well, hurry. It's only available for a limited time. Head to a Pizza Hut location or order online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
For their accounts payable workflow, Junior Achievement of Wisconsin implemented a document management and workflow automation solution from James Imaging Systems. Junior Achievement Vice President of Enterprise Services, Lori Salzman, highlights the positive impact.
That impact has made it much more streamlined for us to handle the entire process from receiving an invoice to having it paid.
How has streamlining your accounts payable workflow benefited Junior Achievement's mission?
It has allowed us to be more on mission and strategically reach out and expand our impact to be able to reach more students.
If others are looking for workflow automation solutions to better serve their clients or customers, what's your suggestion?
If anybody is looking for a good partner that is there to help find solutions, call James Imaging.
Content management and workflow automation from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Outdoor Living Unlimited's showroom on Stoughton Road is absolutely a must-see. Nobody builds a better backyard better than Outdoor Living Unlimited. New deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, fire pit, and in-ground pool. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's leader in building the new deck, Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech decking installer. Looking for a backyard hardscape design? Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's amazing Madison showroom. Visit our open house on Saturday, April 19th from 9 to 1 p.m. and meet the team, or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Look, we all know that as we age, our bodies change, but Carbon World Health can help. They have a process of testosterone replacement therapy that includes a diagnostic exam and blood tests to assess your hormone levels to make sure that they are optimal for you, not optimal for your age. Carbon World Health can help you increase your energy, focus, and overall health with their approach to hormone therapy. It's all about quality of life for you. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Green Bay Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers. Chalmers Jewelers, with locations in Middleton and downtown Madison.
I don't know if I'd agree with that, Jim Rutledge.
Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer
Matt Hamilton. Help me out. Who is that?
Wisconsin football analyst.
You know what? It feels like Molly's the only one that's being sincere about that. So, Molly, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Mark Tauscher on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers. Chalmers Jewelers, with locations in Middleton and downtown Madison.
We are thrilled to be joined by Packer Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher here on Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Molly Brown. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Primetime War shine behind the glass. Tauscher, how you doing on this gorgeous day?
Doing awesome, Jimmy. How are you guys?
We're doing good. Talking it's mock draft season. It is disinformation season. It's everyone's got an opinion season. How are you feeling as the draft gets closer? Are you over all these mocks, or do you care more because now there's actually real information and reporting probably behind some of these reports and mock drafts that come out?
Definitely more intrigued. I think everybody does a mock and they start them, right after the draft. You'll see a mock that probably comes out on Sunday or Monday. And at least now, I think after the Senior Bowl and the Combine and some of these workouts, you get a better idea. And now we're a week out. So I think I think there's more validity to it. You're starting to see what people are reporting and Schefter and all these other insiders. And you kind of start getting a better general sense of where the Green Bay Packers and what some of the guys that might be available at the positions that you're thinking. So I think it's obviously a heck of a lot more, important and valid than maybe it was 3 or 4 months ago.
Tausch, you had ESPN NFL analyst Matt Bowen join your show this morning. What was your biggest takeaway that he had to say?
I think, we talked a lot about college football and some of the challenges that I think evaluating players are, because there's been so much, I think, of evaluation comes from top coaches. And now I don't know how well, especially the guys that are bouncing around every other year, you don't get that same personal interaction. So it's a lot harder to maybe give you a football character standpoint. That was interesting. And then, the other part of it was, and, take this with a grain of salt. He's an Iowa guy. But when you start looking at what Lucas Van Ness, how he's played up to this point, and Matt Bowen is very, very critical and as far as what production he's gotten. But I do think it's interesting. He's only going to be 23. He's going into his third year. And I think Matt is looking at it from, whether you're going to draft the D lineman or not, that don't give up on Lucas Van Ness yet. And I think a lot of times you think, well, 2 seasons in, and you start looking at other players, and not everybody develops at the same stage. So those are kind of the 2 big takeaways that I took away from Matt this morning.
Ben Solak on ESPN had basically he kind of worked out the perfect draft and what he thought could go well for every NFL team. And I thought his initial paragraph on the Packers was pretty spot on. I want to get your thoughts on it. He says, the Packers are one of the toughest teams to nail down in the first round. They have several medium needs, so not like the high level or, just depth needs, several medium needs, none pressing enough that they must address in the first 2 rounds, but all intense enough that a first-round pick would be a warranted investment. He listed wide receiver, corner, offensive line, specifically tackle, and edge were the 4 that he called medium needs. Do you kind of agree with that assessment?
I think that's kind of the standard thing that everybody has said, and I think when you look at where this roster is and where some of the holes would be, I think that's a really fair assessment of where it's at. And it's not as if, one of the other things Matt said this morning is that there's going to be 3 or 4 defensive backs that he feels are going to be really good players and fit what Jeff Hafley is trying to do. And again, last year Iowa bias, but he had Cooper DeJean going in the first round in his mocks, and obviously Cooper DeJean was deserving of that. So I think corner, there's the spot, those places that you just mentioned, no doubt. I think Green Bay, if you see them grab somebody at that spot, you're going to think, all right, you're addressing a need, but it still comes back to how strongly you can evaluate and make sure you're just getting a good football player. And as long as you do that, I think typically people are pretty happy.
So, Tausch, each of us on Jim, Matt, and Molly today kind of gave our to-do list of different positions that we would want the Green Bay Packers to draft in just a couple days. I want to hear, what are the top 4 positions that you would want the Packers to draft if you're the GM?
I love how you emphasized you.
Thank you.
Like you're putting that out in pull. That's really good. I mean, I think you have to go with a defensive lineman, whether that's going to be an edge rush guy or someone on the interior to generate that pass rush. I think that from a concern level, not getting home with 4 is probably at the top of the list. And then, I'm starting to you're seeing a lot of wide receivers come in that first third or the top 30 visits that the Packers are allowed. And I would love to see, a wideout would be in that spot too. And obviously corner. And then I'm going to go, and I took a little heat when I said this yesterday. I'd love to see them grab another offensive lineman. And I know they grabbed one last year in the first round, and he was not able to play a ton. But you have 3 starters that are going to be unrestricted free agents as we sit here right now after next season. It can't always just be plug and play for this year. I understand that this team has needs and they need to fill. But I would also not be mad if you end up grabbing another offensive lineman. I just don't think you can ever have enough good ones.
I love that phrasing, not be mad. We're going to do this tomorrow. It's basically going to be the I don't want it mock draft. So we're going to do a mock draft of I don't want the Vikings to get this guy because it'll be too good for the Vikings and, Lions and all that. But basically, for an example, I don't want the Bears anywhere near Cam Scatterbo or Scatterbo. I think he screams try hard bust and he's going to get overdrafted, and I think it'll be an abject disaster. So I don't want him on Chicago. I will undoubtedly, I'm owning it right now, I will hate the pick. I'll be mad wherever he's picked. Is there anyone in this draft where you're like, I don't want this player on the Green Bay Packers?
Yeah, the Louisville quarterback.
Okay.
I've seen, and I think
Slough?
his name's Slough.
Yeah.
Slough. Yeah, I've seen some clips, and I don't want Green Bay going with a quarterback high, first, on Thursday or Friday. But that would be the guy. I just have watched enough film and seen kind of everybody loves, he's got a howitzer for an arm and he's all this other stuff. And that's all cute and great. But that would be, I am not interested in someone like that at this point for the Green Bay Packers. That would be my top pick that I would say.
And is there a player, and it doesn't have to be first round, is there a guy where you're like, this guy is going to succeed and I love to see him succeed with the Packers?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way he's going to be available, so this is kind of a cop-out answer, but I just think Ashton Genty is going to be a star. I think he is going to be an absolute star in this league, and I think if, I don't want to see the Bears grab him because I think he has the ability to be a transformational running back. So that would be the guy, and running backs, a lot of times they slip, and depending on where everybody's value is, I think he's too good that he would slip to that point, but that would be the guy that I would absolutely love to see Green Bay get.
Tausch, this is kind of a random question, but we talked about this earlier on the show.
Is it everything, though, Molly?
A little bit, but I just kind of feel like it's, not, I don't know. You tell me. But we talked about this earlier this week on our show, and I kind of asked the question, what do you think is the highest that the Packers could draft a quarterback without ruffling the feathers of Jordan Love?
5th round.
Okay. That was kind of what we came to, too.
If you're looking at a 5th-round pick, there's some development, there's some thing. If you pick somebody, 4th is probably right at that cut line, but I think you could say, well, Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick. And, that would be where I think, if I'm Jordan Love, I'm not worried about it anyways. Now, if you grab a guy in the 1st round, that we've seen this movie before, we know the clock starts ticking. If you go 3rd round, I have a lot of questions. 4th round, I'm whimsically questioning. And then 5th round, it's like, all right, we're going to develop and we're going to see. So that's where I would probably draw that line.
Tausch, I do want to just interject quickly because you are helping me do some of my research for our topic tomorrow of the players we don't want for the Packers. Tyler Slough, who you brought up, how do you think if you had to guess how his last name is actually pronounced, Shough, how would you pronounce that? Slough?
So there's no L anywhere to be found?
There's no L. It's not Slough.
Show.
What is it? Show?
It's Shuck. Tyler Shuck. Shuck.
So how does that end? CK? What is it? A silent G?
Yeah,
what
Google AI is saying it's pronounced like the word shuck, like, oh, shucks. I'm from Iowa.
Like you're shucking corn.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Just another reason not to like him.
I think I'm throwing him in the same boat as you remember. There was an old quarterback for the Lions. I think his name was Slough. That's like a 3rd stringer.
It was David Blau. David Blau.
Yeah, See, Tauscher and I have similar age, and Mark, I tell Tarek Saul and Derek Engler this because they're a little bit older than us. Now, I hosted with them when I was younger, and they were probably closer to my age now, and I'm like, you know what? I need to apologize to you guys because there's so many names floating around in your brain as you get older. It's just hard not to blend them all together.
So you can tell Rutledge that.
Well, speaking of some former Badgers, I'm curious, Tausch, what is kind of your feelings on what's going on in the transfer portal? Because I feel like, for me, I'm not a diehard fan. Of course, I want the Badgers to do well, but I'm not going to be somebody completely dialed in like Jim and Ryan here. But I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm just like, let me just see the roster a couple days before their first game on August 28th, and I'll be good. Because it's just so hard to follow along with all the people that are coming, all the people that are leaving. Like it's just too much.
It is, and I think even for some of us that are involved on a regular basis. You don't want to waste time and energy, and that sounds rough. But I was just thinking, we have the spring showcases on Saturday, and you would have thought with the tight end Koziol and Hamper, whatever the wide receiver, that they were going to be big transfer portal pickups back in December, January. Everybody was kind of excited about it, and it's like, all right, just hold on. I'm the same way. I think it's kind of exasperating trying to figure out who's who and what happens in the system. We've said this for the last couple of years. It's just not sustainable. And, the unfortunate part is it's not helping the kids. Programs obviously are dealing with a lot, trying to maneuver the roster and figure things out and, not show too much and not, lose guys. But the bottom line is, and I think Luke Fickell in his press conference today was very clear, you have to find out. Now spring ball is more of a finding out where these guys are at, because the last thing you want to do is, another payment date and another time where you keep, and then you can't replace the guys that aren't in it to win it. And so I think when you kind of see how this process goes, it sucks. I don't think there's there's not a ton of positives to this spring portal. And I would guess when they get this thing figured out, they're going to make it only one time a year. You have to do your research and figure out where you're going to play, and then you got to go to work. And I think the coaches are really frustrated that there's two portals and that you have to constantly be doing what these guys are having to do.
And on that note, and this is bad on me because I didn't have Ryan get the audio ready, but Luke Fickell, I think, endeared himself to a lot of Badger fans when he was quoted recently. He said, this isn't for everybody, right? This is a grown-ass man's league, and this is a grown man's game. And if these guys don't understand that, and this isn't the right thing for them, it is what it is. And I think he also went on, like, you can't hold these kids hostage. So I love the edge there. Jeff Grimes, you guys had on Wilde and Tausch, seems to have a little bit of an edge to him. I think if nothing else this year, I'm excited that the Badgers I'll say this. The other day I said I just want them to look like they practice offense when they play offense this year. But they just look like a team that's going to at least fit what Badger fans identify with Badger football.
Well, I think that was always the issue that a lot of Badger fans had with kind of that new, whatever you want to call that offense, air raid or whatever you want to say.
Dairy raid,
yeah. It didn't look kind of what we're good at. And I think that you're going to see really starting on Saturday, and then obviously as fall camp, and then you start getting into the games, you're going to see more getting back to some of those things. It's not going to be exactly that, but it's definitely going to be more than what we've seen in Luke's first 2 years. So I love those comments. I think he really endeared himself in the fact that it's hard. Football is a hard game, and you cannot be half committed into it. If you are, you have no chance. And you need to have a group of guys that are willing to, pay the price that you have to pay to be good at football. It is not easy, and it is not for everybody. And if you're playing this strictly, especially in college, just for paychecks, it is really difficult to do. There has to be more to it, and sometimes you have to find that out from people that's not where they're at. And whether or not that's the case in this, I don't know, but it certainly felt that way.
You can answer quickly on this one. What Badger player do you think will be picked first?
Well, I really thought it was going to be Hunter Wooler, but listening to what Mel Kiper had to say, he thinks Jack Nelson. I think with the tackle spot where it's at and how much of a need it's going to be, I think Jack is going to just sneak ahead of Hunter Wooler, and I think Huber's going to go higher than people anticipate too.
Yeah, in the Athletic mock draft, they have Huber higher than both Nelson and Wooler. But Matt Miller from ESPN, it's all over the board. Matt Miller from ESPN, who we talked to earlier in the week, said that he loves Hunter Wooler and thinks he can be a good find. And he's actually not even sure, as Matt Miller will be filling in for Kiper on day 3 of the draft, he's not even sure if Hunter will make it all the way to day 3 because he thinks teams are going to fall in love with him as it gets closer, as coaches get more involved.
There's a definite difference of opinion by a lot of experts on Hunter Wooler. I think Jack Nelson is looking like he's going to be a third, fourth round pick. And then, Hunter, I've heard anywhere from 6 to 7 all the way up to 3rd. So I know this. Hunter Wooler, when you talk to the coaches, and he had numerous systems and a lot of different coaches, you're not going to hear anybody say anything but glowing things about how he leads, how he approaches things, and how he plays. So someone is going to get a really good, tough, smart football player that's going to be really difficult to not put on the field.
Awesome. Mark, thank you so much.
You bet, guys.
That's Mark Tauscher, Packer Hall of Famer, brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers, Madison's custom jeweler, Madison's family-owned jeweler. The Tauschers go there, the Scalzos, the Rutledges, Hamilton's gone there before. Plenty of great places to go. At Chalmers Jewelers, 2 locations, Madison and in Middleton. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We'll wrap it up on the other side.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
We don't speak about her.
About rivals.
We are not rivals. Yeah, me and Kay are not on the same level in the same sense that Matt thinks that the Bears and the Packers aren't on the same level.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wildy? Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's #1 pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply in Sport 30/2025. To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Yeah.
This isn't for everybody. Right? This is a grown-ass man's league, and this is a grown man's game. And if guys don't understand that and this isn't the right thing for them, like, we're not, it is what it is.
That's Luke Fickell. We pulled it from Dylan Graff on Twitter. It looks very high quality, so that very well have been from the UW Badgers. But that's Luke Fickell getting me excited for football. Molly Brown, Jim Rutledge with you in the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. We got volleyball coming up in a few minutes here. So Badger volleyball spring match versus Marquette. First serve at 7:30. Pregame starts at 7 here on ESPN Madison. Super excited to have that. And Ryan rocking his Badger volleyball Belichick hoodie is what I like to call it.
Yep.
Lucky by a billion.
But, Molly, we referenced the audio with Mark Tauscher, and you just heard Luke Fickell there. There's a lot. I was talking to our friend Brad from Ho-Chunk. We were out at lunch today, and we were talking about Badger football, and he honestly is like 6-6. I'll be fine. And I kind of didn't disagree with him with this schedule.
This schedule's
Make
rough.
a bowl game and then just look competent. Like I said with Tauscher, look like you practiced the offense before the game. Mm-hmm. And actually, Brad had a good point of like week 1. The last 2 years, week 1's looked sloppy. The game has been in balance or just not blowouts like they should be. And so the idea was just kick the crap out of. Is it Western Michigan? Who do they play week 1?
They play Miami, Ohio.
Miami of Ohio.
Miami, Ohio. Like kick the crap, like win like 28-7 even. Like because Miami, Ohio could be respectable. I don't know, but like just win it going away. Maybe there's a garbage touchdown late, but like just handle your business.
Yep.
And look competent in all the games. I think if they look competent, tough, like Fickell's talking right there, tough, competent, and just something to be proud of. I think a bowl game people are going to be happy with.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, this schedule is brutal. Like October, I think they're lucky if they squeak out one win in October. It's rough. So 6 wins in a bowl game, you're going to feel pretty dang good about that.
You're saying October, it's Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, and Oregon.
Yep.
Iowa's the game that can win.
Yes.
And I'm not saying it's an easy one.
Especially coming off of last year.
If you missed any of today's show, go to the new ESPN Wisconsin app or go to the App Store and download it. You will not regret it. We'll be back at it tomorrow with Matt Hamilton. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly presented by Coors Light.